functions, and now we're going to uh, describe application hosting options. So if you're talking about hosting applications in Azure, you could use a VM or containers, right? And if you're using a VM, it would obviously give you a lot of control, um, as it's part of infrastructure as a service offering. Um, whereas containers, the ability to isolate and individually manage different aspects of the hosting solution, can also be a robust and compelling option. There are other hosting options that you could use with Azure, including Azure App Service. So we have, if you want to host an application, you could use a VM, you could use a container, um, you could use an Azure App Service. So and this is all the different types of Azure App Services. Alright, so let's go through it. So App Service enables you to build and host web apps, background jobs, mobile backends. So we're talking about hosting, background jobs, and hosting backends, and RESTful APIs in a programming language of your choice, without managing infrastructure. It offers automatic scaling and high availability. App Services support Windows and Linux. Enables automated deployments on GitHub, Azure DevOps, or any Git repo to support a continuous deployment model. Azure App Service is a robust hosting option that you can use to host your apps in Azure. Azure App Service lets you focus on building and maintaining your app, and Azure focuses on keeping the environment up and running. Azure App Service is an HTTP-based service for hosting web applications using their REST APIs and mobile backends. Supports multiple languages including .NET Core, Java, Ruby, Node.js, PHP, Python. Also supports both Windows and Linux. So this is again a repetition of what you have just seen in the first paragraph. So again, we're not managing infrastructure while we're using it. Automatic scaling and high availability, right? Supports multiple languages, multiple platforms, and it's used to host web applications, background jobs. So that is the gist of it, right? And what are the different types of app services? Like web apps, API jobs, API apps, web jobs, and mobile apps. App service handles most of the infrastructure decisions you deal with in hosting web accessible apps. Deployment and management are integrated into the platform. Endpoints can be secured. Sites can be scaled quickly to handle high traffic loads, and the built-in load balancing and traffic manager provide high availability. So and below are the different types of app services. So you have web apps. App service includes full support for hosting web apps by using ASP.NET, ASP.NET Core, Java, Ruby, Node.js, PHP, or Python. You can You can use either Windows and Linux, and we're talking about API apps. You can build. So you're not talking about consuming REST APIs. We're talking about building. So you can build REST-based web APIs by using your choice of language and framework. You get full Swagger support and the ability to package and publish your APIs in the Azure Marketplace. The produced apps can be consumed from any HTTP or HTTPS based web client. So we're talking about building REST based web APIs. And then we have WebJobs. So you can use the WebJobs feature to run a program like EXE, PHP, Python, Node.js, or script in the same context as a web app, API app, or mobile app, and they can be scheduled or run by a trigger. Web jobs are often used to run background tasks as part of your application logic. And then we have mobile applications. So to quickly build a backend for iOS or Android apps, you can store mobile app data in a cloud-based SQL database, authenticate customers against common social providers such as MSA, Google, Twitter, and Facebook, send push notifications, execute custom. So notice we're not talking about a front end, we're talking about a back end for back-end support for mobile applications, and execute custom-based custom backend logic in C# or Node.js. On the mobile app side, there is an SDK support for native iOS and Android, and Xamarin and React Native apps. So just to summarize this unit, so we have different ways to host application. We could use a VM, we could use a container, we could use an Azure App Service, and in Azure App Service we have different types of services, app services that you could use. You could use we could use web apps, you could use API apps, you could use web jobs or mobile apps. Web apps is hosting web applications. So it supports multiple languages. API apps, you can use it for building REST-based web APIs, and then putting it in the Azure Marketplace. Web jobs running background applications, mobile apps, supporting backend of mobile apps, right? So in the next unit, on the next video, we're going to describe Azure Virtual Networking. So until then, see you next time.